What's up, dude? How's it going, man?
All right, man. All right. How about
It's a
yourself?
different, good man. It's a different night. Same channel, different night. Taking over Sundays.
It feels a little weird. I got to be honest with you.
It does. Yeah, it's weird. We used to sit hearing that hella dope music go on this
I
time,
know, right?
but and it's funny because when we talked about switching over to this Sunday nights, I was like, there's nothing really on. And believe it or not, I did find some stuff leading up to the when
Yeah.
Helidope wasn't there to watch, but it wasn't what I was wasn't what I was used to. There's a ton of folks out there. I actually just finished listening.
I don't think there's ever a night without some kind of stuff on
Right.
nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It's so
No,
crazy.
absolutely. So like I actually today I caught a bunch of stuff. I think Allison Troy was doing some coloring stuff earlier.
Yep.
I caught her show, and then I came across Adam over on Highly Articulated. He was doing some stuff, talking, giving some updates for the week, and obviously talking Spiro stuff, doing some giveaways to 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to him. Then I slipped right into Brick something station right after that. I was actually baking some bagels and stuff with my daughter, listening to that while I was getting that done, and listening to Brick, and then jumped over onto what's the station there on the shelf.
Oh,
Shelf
just shelve it with Jesse and
yeah.
all them. Yeah.
Yep. They got Terrence, they got Terrence and Gina along with the Corsair, Tide,
nice. Yeah.
Tide Realms there. So they got them over there. So there's actually a ton of stuff I was listening to. I literally just exited out of some of those as we jumped in here. So there was a bunch of folks. So I'm sure folks are all over the place tonight with a lot of that stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I guess we did step on some toes of folks that were still rocking and rolling. Sorry, guys. Just works out better for us right now. And if you're here for the ride, we appreciate you.
There's nowhere to plan anything without stepping on somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's too much on there right now, and it's just you just got to pick the night that works best for you and your team or whatever, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't watch a lot of YouTube usually Sundays because usually Sundays if it's nice out, I'm out in the woods, and otherwise I'm just doing stuff right that has to be done because the weekend. And I end up catching Allison's and all those guys usually later on in the week. So
yep. Yeah, no, I was at home. It's been a little bit cold. We got a bunch of snow up here yesterday. My daughter started her season for cheer, so we were at cheer comp yesterday. And then was busy with work all up to Friday end of the day. It was real tight. But I got Monday off. It's a holiday.
Yeah, Monday's a holiday. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm not used to that in the consulting world. I didn't have as many holidays. I'm not working for a state or anything, but I will say Monday normally was a little bit of a lighter lift, a lot of internal stuff. But this year it's different because I'm actually completely off. So I say I'm off, but I did spend like an hour at Lowe's today picking up some drywall for the ceiling here, for the drop ceiling that I'm doing. I lucked out because I walked in the door and I was going to get a bunch of sheets that were brand new, and I noticed a whole pallet of drywall, just half-inch board, that was like damaged, but it was like 75% off.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because I'm cutting it into such small sections just to fill these little tracks and stuff.
Yep.
I don't need perfect drywall. I mean, it'll be good for the sections. I cut off the damage. I saved so much money, man. I got like 5 sheets of drywall for like $16. And
I did that a few years ago. I put a shed, garden tractor garage, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And it's like needed shingles. I was looking at, my brother-in-law was like, well, let's just do it in steel, metal roofing and check that out. And I was like, I'm just going to go see what they cost at Lowe's. And I walked into Lowe's and up front, they had a stack of these shingles that were, there was like a couple shingles in each bundle damaged, but they were, $5 a bundle as opposed to, $45 or whatever they were back then. And I was like, yeah, I'll just take 6 of those and I'm good. I'm going to cut some off anyway. So screw it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how it worked out for me. I was like, I measured out the sections that I needed, so I could fit it into my vehicle because I don't have a truck. So I wanted it small enough that I could fit in. So I brought in my own box cutters because Lowe's, they always got the ones that the safety ones that kids can use. So I brought those in, brought my own measuring tape, and I actually my own pencil. I went down the aisle and got one of their T-squares, pulled this T-square off the shelf, and straight lines, put it back on the shelf. About an hour later, went back out to the car, loaded it up, but like saved a crap ton of money doing it that way.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's the way to do it, man.
So that'll be what I'll be doing on my day off tomorrow. Is just finishing this up. I got the lights in. I'm running those tomorrow morning, and then I'm putting in the drop ceiling. Which when that's done, that's done. And then the other side's been getting organized. Got a couple things over there that have been in my way, but firing up the factory this week, which I'm excited for. So
Awesome.
yeah, everything's good, man. And life is good. How about yourself, dude? How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just like you, I got I've got a bunch of shit I'm doing around this place, just reorganizing. And my daughter seems to think because I live here with my son, I have 3 bedrooms, and that I have an extra room to store all of her stuff in. And I'm like, she keeps sending these boxes over here, and I was like, finally, the other day, yesterday, I picked up this huge box. I was like, listen, kid, you're out of room. I'm gonna start charging you storage. And my closets are full.
Yeah.
I don't have any more room. Just because I have an extra bedroom doesn't mean that
Yeah.
hoard all your shit at my house so you don't have to deal with it at your house. Sorry, kid.
And that's not your daughter that is in the military, right?
No. It's the one that lives with my ex-wife. So, but she just went through. She got all of her stuff for Christmas and packed up all the stuff she didn't want, and was like, "Here, Dad, can you store this for me?"
Yeah, my oldest who moved out over the summer, he's got his bedroom upstairs, and it's like a 14 by 16 foot room, so it's a pretty large amount of space. He's got a full size bed in there still, and we got a couple dressers, and the TV still hung. It's going to be a guest room and a place for him to stay if he needs to, or if he's over late and when he's a place to crash or whatever. But that's what it is, But he's got boxes that my wife went through his room and packed all the stuff. He only took he just took what he needed: his computer, his Xbox, some
the essentials
clothes.
for a 20-year-old man.
Exactly. So he took the things he needed, and he's left a lot. He has come back from time to time and grabbed 1 or 2 little things like his drawing tablet, things that he left behind. But he's got boxes and boxes up there. And my wife and I, every time he stops over, hey, you gonna grab anything? And he's got a truck. He can load it right on in. And they got like a 3-bedroom house or whatever. He's got plenty of space for it. But he's like, I'm gonna leave it there for now. And I'm like, at some point we're gonna have to,
what you're gonna have to do is you and the missus are just gonna have to, like, when he's like, hanging out with your other son or the sisters or something, right? Just start loading up the back of his truck.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we loaded you up. You're good to go. We'll see you later, kid. Have a nice day.
Have him come over for Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks, and while he's there, hey, I'm gonna go grab some buffalo chicken dip, and I'll just be loading some stuff in the back of his truck for him. Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with, and I totally appreciate what you're going through. So good deal, man. Did you get any pickups this week?
I did not. Well, no, I got the Geyer Wolf from Skeletron, which is the silver.
Oh, cool.
Hold on a second. Let me grab. He's right here. Now, the Skeletron figures are amazing, so I cannot complain, and this would definitely be a ToyLeet figure, but this is the Geyer Wolf. So I got him the other day. I don't remember what day, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But so I got 3 of the figures now. Got to get the character head pack that they have, and then I'll have everything they have out right now as far as 6-inch goes, except for the actual Skeletron. But I don't think I'm going to get the Skeletron. $250. I just can't, put the money on it. So,
that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big item.
They got the Banditos coming out. It's supposed to be out like January 31st or roughly around that day. So
is that Odd Frog?
Yeah, that's Odd Frog. So that's 185 or something like that, which isn't bad for a 112 scale, car. But Skeletron, as cool as it is, and I love the vehicle itself, but it's a ship that I would take some pictures with, and otherwise it'd just take up shelf space. At least with a car, I kind of incorporate it into a lot more different pictures and stuff. So
absolutely, no, definitely. Let's hit up the chat and see how everybody's doing tonight. While you're pulling that up real quick, he's Ed Axion Figs. I'm the Mr. Wonderful. If it's your first time tuning in, we appreciate you. Don't forget, if you enjoy the content, I'm not asking you to do it right now. If you enjoy what you're listening to and seeing, hit that like, subscribe, and share if you can. Otherwise, we appreciate you guys tuning in regardless. And we like to talk about our plastic passion. And, we get together every week or every other week. and we just started taking over Sunday nights because somebody hadn't been showing up on Sunday nights for us and leaving us a little less satisfied. So we
Yeah.
decided to satisfy ourselves, as they say, and come here and talk about plastic on Sunday nights for an hour or so every other week. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll talk about the adjacent. We do our ToyLeet or toilet segment where we talk about tossing it in the trash and toilet, or if we're going to put it up on one of those shelves back there. We also have a main topic. We try to focus on something interesting and unique, maybe not just being discussed on other ones. There are some things like end of year stuff and what we're hoping for the next year, similar to what other guys are doing, but it's our take on what we're looking forward to, which if you go down the rabbit hole of Mr. Wonderful or Axion Figs, it's its own world, completely different than probably these other guys are talking about. And then we like to talk about news. We talk about independent toy line. We don't really cover your Hasbros, your Mattels. The biggest stuff we get to really is probably Four Horsemen. And we really kind of play in that space because we like to support those around us that are part of the community and the arena we like to play in. So we appreciate you guys joining in, and hopefully you enjoy the ride.
Yes, sir. So we got this guy. I don't know who invited him to the show, but Mr. Wonderful saying yellow folks. And we got Nolan in the house, which makes this Toy Tube official, saying, hey, Travis, Ed, and the chat. Plastic Skulls is here saying, what's up, Mr. Wonderful in action? What's up, Plastic Skulls and Nolan? We got this guy, a punk with toys, Lawrence, saying, hello, fools. Not feeling well,
What's
but
up?
wanted to stop in and say hi on your new time. Well, thank you, man. We appreciate that. Hope you feel better. Dave's Dimension saying, hey, Ed and Mr. Wonderful. Dave, awesome 3D printed firehouse so far. I'm loving it, dude. Let's see. Where's the next guy here? Menhoza. There he is. Menhoza saying, what's up, all? What's up, Menhoza? Or as Punk likes to say, Menhoza. And we got Brian from Endless Fable saying, hey, guys, what's up, Brian?
What's up, brother?
And Menhoza saying, APWT's in the house. He's kind of a big deal, y'all. Feel better, Lauren. He's kind of a big deal in a small package. And Thor Anacostia is here saying, happy Sunday night, guys. Happy Sunday to you, Thor. And Ronnie Drickshot saying, action figs is sexy as AF. You know it, brother. You know it.
Action figures are. If it's good plastic, it's good plastic. Oh, was he talking about you?
He was talking about me solely, man. Just me.
Never mind.
And man, I was saying, Geyer Wolf is a great figure. Action figure sold separately. Robert, what's up? Saying, yo, what's up, man? In Endless Fable saying, I heard Chadwick is on the water. Yeah, I kind of heard that rumor too, that he should be arriving soon, which was to be expected because when they put him up for pre-order, they already had the mold works and all that done for him. So
that's awesome.
Wasn't going to take them that long.
You are going to have a crap ton of photography with that thing.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to get that one out in the woods.
Yeah.
Thor saying, action figs, that's an awesome figure you got. Yeah, the Skeletron figures are awesome, man. I mean, they're just incredible figures. Plastic therapy is always needed. Yes, it is, Dave. And we got Ian, Mudhorn Station here saying, Mana. What's up, Ian?
What's up?
Hey, we got Ken from Toy Connections. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, Ken time, right?
Hi, Ken.
It's Ken time.
Yeah, it's Ken time. And that is it for new chats, man.
It's almost like about time for a super kick party, right, Ken?
Yeah.
Well, one of these days. Awesome. Cool, man. With that said, I don't have a ToyLeet or toilet segment. I know you said that last figure, you put it on the shelf, so we're going to use that as the fill-in this week. We're not going to flush it. We're going to keep it live.
We got to get that sound effect back on here somehow.
Yeah, now that we're here, I'll and we've got things kind of flowing a little better. I'll definitely looking to getting that one on here with the little video drop for the beautiful toilet that we love to show people.
We're going into a new year, so you and I will be getting a bunch of shit every so often.
Oh yeah, this year got a lot on the horizon. I imagine I'd be getting unboxing quite a bit of stuff or finding boxes in the closet somewhere hidden, in 6 months after, putting aside. I got a tote over here full of stuff I still got to get through, but we're making progress here. But yeah, if that Chinese New Year wasn't hitting, I'm sure we'd be landing a bunch of stuff here soon.
Yeah, 100%.
That's definitely putting a little pause on some stuff. But that said,
real quick before we move on, Matthew Matson saying you really need to get the RoboSkull. What's up, Matthew? I would get the RoboSkull, but I just don't have enough love for that. Oh, and
So
we
they did
got
one of those in 118, right?
no. It's the vehicle is set up to be 118th or 112.
Oh, really? I
Got
didn't
an
realize
interchangeable cockpit, so you can fit
that's
two.
smart.
Yeah, it's great engineering, right? I mean, like I
That
said,
is
the
really
whole vehicle
smart.
is really sweet. I mean, it's got a great whole vibe to it
Yeah,
and everything. It's just, I just know I wouldn't do much with it. So it's like, I
yeah.
take some
That's from
pictures
a
with it.
business standpoint. That's a really smart move, though.
Yeah,
To make it dual
100%.
use there. They're
And
selling it to both
Skunkworks
companies.
Studios saying, "Hey, what's up, Jeff?
What's up, dude?
All right, man. Now that's it.
Cool. So let's jump right on in. This week, it's the Sunday Takeover episode 6-9. I think it's 6-7, but we'll just say 6-9. And we're taking over Sundays. This episode is focused on hopes, dreams, and predictions. You can see Ed took some time went and got some professional photography done here, and he prayed to his gods. And me, I'm just yes, I'm hoping, and we'll see how things go. But the idea here is we're going to talk about what we expect or hope, what we're excited for 2026. As Ed already alluded to, it's going to be an exciting
Now,
year.
I gotta just say this real quick with this picture because I was thinking this today, and what you just said reminded me of it. This picture reminds me of like the old cartoons where the devil and the angel would sit on the shoulders, and like you're like, yeah, go evil, and I'm like, no, be good, be good.
So this is a great picture for Mr. Wonderful over there. Go spend your money, spend it all
Right,
on plastic, and Ed's like, no, save it for the Bills, save it for the Bills, and
right,
not the Bills as in the football team which lost and broke
yeah,
all of our hearts last night, but hey,
yes.
different Bills, the ones that you get in the mail. Yeah, those ones. That said, we'll be talking that as we get to the main topic. But before we go there, we're going to jump through a few things. We like to cover that stuff at the end. Don't worry, we won't take 3 hours to get there. We will go right over here to this. And first,
Down by the creek where the water flows, we're shouting out to those who know. Spreading joy, sharing love, ToyLeet fam, you rise above. Shout out from the creek, you're the best. Hype up the heroes who've passed the test. Community stars shining bright.
let it go for 40 seconds. Otherwise, we're here for 2 minutes
I
and
know,
19
and then
seconds.
Matthew will
Mickey
start
Mouse
crying
will
about it
yelling.
too long, and we don't want that.
Exactly. So
Shout out from the crick this week goes to Skunkworks Studios. My buddy Jeff over there, he's been on our show a couple of times doing our Joe Fest pre-game, and shouting out Jeff this week because just past Thursday he announced his Hunters of the Unknown photo story contest. I don't know if any of you remember the Golden Skull one I did with the movie. I did that was for Jeff's channel for his last year's competition, Curse of the Golden Skull. It's pretty much open to anybody that wants to get in, do a photo story with your action figures. It doesn't have to be 1/6 scale. It can be any scale you want to use your action figures in and tell a story. Hunters of the Unknown, cryptids, aliens, monsters, unknown viruses, whatever it is. Jeff put out a video on Thursday night alive and explained all the rules and all that kind of stuff to follow if you want to join. So go on over there, check out Jeff's channel. He does a lot of cool GI Joe fabrications and shows off a bunch of shit that he buys from Japan that he doesn't need, and it's a good channel to watch. But he also does a lot of DIY stuff too. So if you're looking for how to fix certain things, he fixes a lot of 1/6 scale stuff, but most of the stuff he does can be applied to any size, action figure or playset or whatever. So yeah, run on over there, check out Jeff's Hunter of the Unknown, which is going to be live all summer, and I think the contest ends like in October. So you have plenty of time to write a script, get figures
that's
together,
awesome.
whatever you want to do. I think last year we had from maybe like May for the Golden Skull, and then he did that in October. So it's just giving everybody a little bit more time in case they want to do something a little more creative or do two of them, one in the winter, one in the summer, that kind of thing. So
And it's a video, right?
yeah, you basically do like I did, where you can do, some people did videos with like balloons, word balloons, and just did
Okay.
videos. A lot of people put voiceover. Some people just, made quick videos. And he's got a section for people that just want to send in pictures that capture the spirit of this. If you just want to enter it just as a photograph, you could do that too. But like I said, Jeff explains all that in his live stream from Thursday night, which is over on his channel. So if you're interested,
Great.
you like cryptids or aliens or monsters or whatever, and you want to participate, go on over there. Last year I won 12-inch action figure from Jeff, custom one. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Ed, are you gonna do it this year? Defending champion?
Dude, it's about monsters and unknown cryptids. I mean, I'm all over it, dude.
It's above you. I got you.
I'm going to be doing probably 5-6 of those motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good deal. No, I mean the time frame makes it extremely accessible for most.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually going to, when we wrap up this stream tonight, that's the stream I'm going to go click on and listen to, because I'm like, at first my mind was like, ooh, Hunters of the Unknown. I could play something off in a wrestling arena and all that stuff. But then I was like, maybe I'll use my Savage stuff and have more fun with it. I've got plenty of time, so I could have maybe I'll have Little Wonder help me, and we'll do something outside and that type of thing.
I mean, like, some of us have been doing a lot of these things for many years. Jeff does amazing photo story videos and stuff, a lot of different, things, but we've also been doing it. So don't get discouraged when you go over and watch, like, go over and check out, he's got a playlist for the Golden Skull stuff, right? And you'll see levels of people that are, beginners and people that have been doing it for a long time, and everywhere in between, using all sorts of different characters and figures and stuff like that. So don't worry about what you got. Just go and have fun. That's what it's all about. Just having fun, getting people to go out there and actually play with their toys, get them outside, get them dirty, get them in stories, and just do something other than let them sit on a shelf.
I'm very excited about this. When I'm done here, the kid doesn't have tomorrow. He has tomorrow off from school. I'm going to see if he's still up. If he's up, I'm going to talk to him and see maybe he does one himself and I do my own. We could do it in parallel. We could work together on grabbing all the photos. I could show him how to do it and put stuff together, help him on the computer. Yeah. Might be a fun activity, because he's always asking me, can we do pictures? Can we set up the pictures? Can we do the photos for the wrestling stuff?
Yeah, like I said, you got plenty of time. So if you want to wait till the weather gets nicer up here, right? I mean, you can spend the next few months getting, materials together, writing a script or at least a storyline that you want to kind of follow, and
absolutely
shoot it all summer and then submit it. So
that's really cool. Skunkworks, shout out from the crick. That's an awesome one. Love it. You're like a pseudo ToyLeet member.
Love you, Jeff.
At this point. So good luck, brother. I really hope this is a success this year. I definitely am going to find some way to contribute myself.
I don't know what the total amount of entries was last year, but I know there was probably at least 12 videos, and
let's double it.
Probably about the same pictures that were submitted. So
yeah, that's awesome. Good deal.
Matthew's saying he got his deluxe dungeon set purchased last year. They are pretty damn cool.
I did not order one at the time, just because of the situations I was dealing with at the time. Definitely, I'm like a Savage Crucible all-in guy. So I'm hoping when the in-stock sales are available, I can snag one. I would like to get more, but I'm going to grab at least one.
Yeah, I want one at least, but I didn't order one either, just because of the time frame was, when I was just not financially ready there, and everything else going on. So it was just bad timing, but.
Good deal, brother. Good deal. Again, Jeff, awesome. Guys, go check him out over at Skunkworks Studio over on Instagram, and he's got the YouTube out there. He's a good guy. You've seen him around the channel before. Let's go ahead, and we're going to hit the weekly news. There's a ton of news this weekend, and I probably didn't even cover all of it. There are some items I did want to call out. We focus on independent toys. If it's your first time listening, we try to keep relevant to anything that's come out between the last time we streamed and today. I did update this as of about an hour ago, so I got most things. If there's a line or an adjacent item that we're not aware of, please comment in the chat, or even in the comments after the show. We'll take a look at those. The comments in the after show also help with the algorithms and stuff around here. So please go ahead and drop them in there. We'll go ahead and add them to our news, and we'll keep tabs on them. I'm sure if it's something you guys are interested in, it'll be an interest of either mine or Ed's, or maybe even others that are listening today. So go ahead and do that. Going in, a little update from Spiro over at Animal Wars of the Kingdom over at Spiro Toys. They dropped a real major big announcement, or an update, I guess would be better said, last week, or this past week, from everything around the Kickstarter, right? So, there was some major changes that have happened over a period of time. Our buddy Adam Drake, also known as Highly Articulated, who was on earlier today, is now working, beyond just kind of the scope that he had been previously. He's, directly overseeing the factory coordination, making sure that, things are being driven effectively, or more effectively maybe than they had been previously, just to help, successfully deliver on this Kickstarter. And it allows Jason to focus much more on the creative side of things, and lets Adam kind of drive some of those things. I know they talked about in that update, a second factory has been added. They're doing this to hopefully speed up the process. Nothing against the previous factory; they're still working with that one, but the second factory is going to allow them to start sending over the winged creatures and starting getting those produced in multiple waves and such, kind of produced in a simultaneous manner. There were some updates around the brawlers that are far into tooling. You can see on the screen here, we got some images of the tool of the molds. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. But they've talked about having some shipping expected later on in Q1. With a close follow for the Wave 5 Enter the Void, which is originally from one of the last items announced just before the most recent Kickstarter that they're working on delivering on. They do have an updated long-term rollout timeline that kind of stretches from early 2026 through early 2028, with the avians targeted for that Q4 2026, giants planned for Q1 2028. There's a whole bunch of additional items in there that they talk about and suggest could potentially come to fruition, depending on where they are in the timeline of the Kickstarter deliverables that may have previously not been announced. One of the things about the Animal Wars of the Kingdom Kickstarter that they did for this this second kind of phase is that they really built up the parts library to allow themselves to expand beyond just certain lions and monkeys, right? And now they're able to continue to spread their wings, per se, by allowing themselves to reconfigure new figures over time using the parts library that they're getting as they release these new waves, like the brawlers and the avians, the reptiles. So we'll start to see those and could potentially see some additional releases over the course of the year. So they did kind of highlight, and one of the things I want to echo is because I appreciate it, right? Like, I've been a double backer since this Kickstarter went. I've been a huge fan of the Animal Wars of the Kingdom line and all the work that they've been doing over there. So I'm not necessarily one of the people that's going, oh, when is it coming? When is it coming? There's definitely folks out there that are, hey, when's it coming? And one of the things that they've been focusing on is improving their transparency, but also making sure that they emphasize that if they deliver a product that is not up to spec or not up to quality that they want, it's always going to be bad, right? That figure is always going to be busted. It's not going to be what they wanted. But if they take a little bit of time, they can ensure they get you the right product in your hand. So yeah, there has been some delays, but they're focusing on that quality over speed, which to me, I would much rather have the right quality product than the product right now. So shout out to those guys for the very thorough update. And looking forward to some continued items over there. They did share some additional photos. So you can see here, this is that Void figure in the buck, some really cool detail there. I know we've seen this going all the way back to PowerCon, some of the earlier model versions of it, but they've definitely continued to expand it, add more detail. You can see some more brawler bucks. And this right here, this looks badass. I mean, if you've ever held an Animal Wars of the Kingdom figure, the ones they've already produced are awesome. Gives you that feel of the 80s and maybe even early 90s. The quality is always there. I've never had one where I'm like, oh, this feels like it's going to break. I can't give this to my kid to use. These definitely, your kids can play with these, and I don't think you have to worry about them getting busted. But you can see the detail all through the fur and whatnot on this guy. You can see the shield, you see the weapons, multiple hands. These things are coming along. You can definitely see progress, which to me is awesome. And I'm very excited for these coming up this year and next, and based on the timeline all the way to 2028, which is, you feel like it's so far, away, but I mean, it was 2023 just yesterday. And then they also announced their convention schedule. I think they mentioned in the comments, though, that they may have some additional dates potentially, but these are what they have on the radar right now. You've obviously got ZoloCon coming up. You got Toylanta. They got WonderCon, CarverCon, which is his first CarverCon. I think that's in Ohio area. Joe Fest. You have Motu Fest, which that's the first one this year. That's the one that the guys did the Kickstarter for, I believe, if I remember correctly, and that's the one that's out on the West Coast, if I have the names right.
Motu Fest is the one. Motu Fest is going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
That's the precursor to bringing back
Power Fest, right?
Yeah, Motuniverse is the one that's out on the West Coast that they did the Kickstarter for.
Thank you. I was mixing those up.
Jay and Mike are doing,
Yeah, thank you. And then they have Jolanta and Legions Con. So, most of these are people are familiar with, but there's a couple new ones on there, and I think they may have alluded to some other ones they may attend, but these are going to be the ones that are definitely on their radar this year. Big Bad Workshop showed off a few new things. They had the little preview here. Says season 3 part 2 tease, kind of showing an in development creature head sculpt. It features a koala inspired monster design with an eye patch leaning into the line's pulp horror monster ops vibe. Shown as a raw digital early sculpt, confirming this is still firmly in the development phase. I didn't see any character name or release timing yet, purely just progress. Do you have any insight on this character at all,
No,
Ed?
I have no idea what this guy's going to be.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so we'll keep our eye on. You'll be one of the first people, I'm sure, to be able to tell me what it is.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know this, so I don't follow it as closely, so it's definitely interesting to me. They also announced their ZoloCon exclusive. I don't think we've spoken about this one previously. I think it's fairly new.
It was just announced just this past week. So
that's what I thought. But yeah, so they have the Blackwatch Shadow Wraith from Operation Monsters Force, 1/12 scale. It's going to be shooting for $40 with a limit of 1 per day is what I think I saw on the flyer. And it also is while supplies last at ZoloCon, which again is at the end of February, early March. I do know that they did in the preview, they showed some screens and some details around the lore, continuing to kind of drive that direction. And I believe this comes with like 3 or 4 different head sculpts, so you can really kind of customize this.
They're really digging into the lore with the Monster Force that they're doing now. So
I could kill I could kill a wallet with that stuff, man. The amount of times that I've gone into Big Bad Toys website and added every one of their figures to have them, because for whatever reason I have a condition. I have a condition. It's called completedness, and I feel like if I don't have the complete thing, I'm missing out. Somebody please help me. That said, in my opinion, another strong example of that story first exclusive from Big Bad, kind of blending the narrative of the story along with that display presence. So, folks, definitely keep your eyes out for that. Largo, I see you there. You're asking about a mule. Definitely, I know there's some folks going, so we should definitely chat. I'm not going to be there, I don't think, unless something changes. I don't think I'm able to make it. I think that's going to be States weekend for my daughter. And based on the way they performed yesterday, I highly expect that I'll be traveling out to Binghamton. So we'll see. Up next, Big Bad Toy. Oh, go for it.
Real quick, Jetman, you have to find somebody to actually get it at ZoloCon for you, because chances are they'll be up on Big Bad afterwards, but there'll probably only be a very few amount left. So if you got somebody that's going to ZoloCon, or, watch the clubhouse this Saturday, somebody will say that they're going, and then you can hit that person up. Most guys don't mind grabbing them because.
Yep. You there?
All right. Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Cool. Up next, we have the convention schedule. You can see ZoloCon, Toylanta, Joe Fest, Legions Con, and then first time I've seen it is Twin Cities Con out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. But these are all the conventions that Big Bad announced. I thought, and I may have missed it, I thought I had a screen that I had planned to talk about, but I'm not seeing it here. I must not have done it, and I apologize. But they did also, I'm going to bring this up because I was paying attention to it, but I didn't put the slide in. They talked about the Demo Warg Infiltrator figure, which is also another convention exclusive.
That's gonna be their Total Gear Con exclusive. Like they did that one last year. It's the Phantom Core. I can't remember what they called it, but it's Phantom Core, and that was at every con So if you go to a con, you go to the counter and pre-order it.
Yeah, and I have it all here. I just did not
Yep.
put that slide in, so I'm just relaunching. Give me a second. Sorry about that.
And yes, Largo, the last con exclusive from BBTS sold out in less than 5 minutes when they put it up on the site. So they sell out fast once they go up on the site.
And you guys should be seeing it now. Yeah, so this is a Demo Warrior Infiltrator figure. I thought this one looked really cool. But this is what they did last
It's
year,
not
right?
coming up, brother.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's saying you're sharing the screen, but nothing's coming up.
How about now?
I can see the blank screen. It's saying you're sharing. There it is. There we go.
Ah, crap.
It was there.
Okay, hold on. How about now?
Nope. Wait.
Give it a second. I'm sure it'll come through. It's going to come through. Well, how about now?
Nope. Wait. There it is. Okay, we got it.
You seeing it?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Cool.
And it went away.
Awesome. There, it did it?
Now it's back.
Okay. Sorry, guys. What the heck? It's showing right now, though, right?
Yeah, it's up. It's up.
Okay, cool. So this is the Demo Warrior Infiltrator figure we were just talking about. It's that early bird convention one, right? You can pick it up at a bunch of the different conventions, right? Like all of the ones that are announced.
Everyone that they're going to be at, you'll be able to pre-order this at.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Oh, so you don't pick it up, right? Okay, I forgot.
Right.
So this is the one where you pre-order it at the conventions because you're appearing there, but then it'll be something that's mailed to you at a later time, right? Once it's released. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, cool. Thank you for that clarification. Sorry I missed out on that one, guys. I was looking for it and I didn't see it. Where are we at? Back on track here. Okay, up next, Brutal Realm. They too showing off some interesting photos, similar to what Animal is the King did. Again, Brutal Realms happens to be one of the lines that we are excited for, but a lot of the content that they've been putting out there at times seems a little lofty at times, right? Like they're shooting for home runs every single time.
Yeah.
That said, they did provide an update where they're showing off some of their steel molds. They're showing some of them being completed, which is a major milestone for those guys. It's definitely moving Brutal Realm, beyond just some test shots towards what is going to lead towards that full production. With the molds being finished, they did mention that they'd be sending out some backer survey kits, to lock in selections and reinforce the backer confidence. Figures are being prepped to hit the water as soon as possible, with multiple molds already created beyond what was actually shown in that Kickstarter update, which I think came out today or yesterday. So this one's interesting for me because, I backed this one pretty heavily also. I've kind of went on and off of it over time, not because I don't believe it's going to come, but because of the fact that I'm just like, I don't know if I need this. I'm so happy with the Savage figures, but we'll see. They also showed off a couple other items, which I thought was cool. You can see there's a Cronin sword redesign, giving it a little bit more of a dynamic. So the one on the right is their older view, where the one on the left is a much more crisp render, but also more, I want to say like not customized, but it's more unique. And they did mention in their update that the kind of generic tribal looking content in the center of it is going to be changed to be, more Nordic ruin symbols before it goes to production and whatnot. And then they have the Athena sculpt, which they have approved on the proportions, the form, and its backside from what I can tell. She looks like she's going to be a beast for sure. It's interesting because it's definitely in my eyes, it's an interesting take on a female buck from this warrior line, because we've seen some third-party stuff from 5K Toys and whatnot where the figures, I don't want to say are dainty, but they're more feminine in a skinnier sense, and not as brutal or big as the men, right? Yeah. Whereas this one, in my opinion, looks like it go toe-to-toe with some of those other male Brutal Realm figures. So it's cool. It's going to give a ton of diversity into the line for sure. So interested in seeing how they move forward with this. And I think 3-star hit it on the head. I'll let him leave that one right there. Yeah. Up next, couple updates from Four Horsemen. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because I know you, Ed, and Brick, and some others had a stream a week or so ago when this was announced. And I even joined this stream. I sent you a screenshot of me being stuck in the background. because I showed up really, really late, and nobody realized I was hanging out in the green room waiting to join. But I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the actual live stream with Four Horsemen, so I was coming in to listen in with you guys, and you guys were wrapping up. But they have a bunch of upgrades. I think it's like 8 or so upgraded packs designed for the Cosmic Legions to help diversify those characters and allow folks that may have army built or maybe wanting to buy a couple more of these bucks in these figures to have some more unique diversity amongst them. I think they have some combos. I think the individual packs are like $10 a piece, or you can buy some combo bundles with base figures for around $28, which in all honesty, $28 is a pretty good price, I think, for one of these figures.
Yeah, if you get there's standard sizes, which are $10 for the head pack, character pack, whatever you want to call it, or $27 with the figure. And then the deluxe ones are $15 for the character pack and $35 or something for the 40 or $37 for the figure with the character pack, something like that. So,
yeah, these looked cool. They definitely
they're awesome prices. I mean, you can't beat the prices.
Yeah,
some of the headsets and stuff are amazing. I mean, so
absolutely. I don't. And Ed, you and I have talked a number of times. I was very skeptical of the continuation of the Cosmic Legion line for the last, we'll say, 12 months. We'll say the last year. Yep. I've been fairly skeptical of that because I just haven't seen the progress, but like they're definitely continuing to invest in it. So it doesn't look to be going anywhere.
Yeah, they said there's another Cosmic full wave coming out for pre-order to be announced soon. So,
oh wow!
And as Largo said, nice to see some human heads in the Cosmic Legions. This is the first time there's been any kind of human heads or characters in Cosmic Legions at all. So.
Is that true?
Yep. They've all been alien humanoids, but there's never been actual humans.
Okay. That checks out. Okay. I mean, they have Black Widow in the line, so I mean that looks cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty much what I had for that one. Up next, they did make a really cool announcement for ToyCon New Jersey exclusive. I thought this looked really cool. I don't know that I'm going to get it, but I think it's a cool reuse for it. They're doing the Highlands Warrior, exclusive show edition. They will have, following their standard protocol, they will have a later release that gets, Gen Pop release or whatever you want to call it, a general release, which will be the same figure, lacking the head that you see on the figure right now, which I believe is, what is it? I don't know if I have his name there. Magnus. That's the Magnus head that's on there. It will not include the Magnus in the general release, but in April, Morristown, New Jersey, if you go to ToyCon New Jersey, you'll be able to pick this up. It comes with a sword, a scabbard, short sword, shield, belt, some hands, general, Four Horsemen stuff. I thought this looked like a really cool,
great looking figure for sure. I'm tempted, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm gonna get it when it comes out to the general release because I'm not. The red head doesn't mean anything to me. So.
Yeah, it's not a mess. I mean, I end up with too many heads, right? Like,
right.
And then I got to unload. Like, I have so many of them. I don't know that I need it. I don't know that there's too many people that's going to complain about too much head. But
yes, definitely Braveheart inspired, Jim, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely has that look, for sure. And one of the things I will echo for folks that maybe don't follow as closely is it is not tied to the legions. The Mythic Legions as a subline, or any of the lore, right? It's just something that can play in this space with your own, angle to it. So there is no, tie into the Mythic Legions line, like lore and whatnot. Up next, we got some updates from Legions around all of their release schedule. The big item here that I'm just going to call out is that you've got the Retailer Appreciation Wave, supposed to street date on February 18th, so that's about a month away from today. And then we have the Mythic Legions Rising Suns, which is shipping begins early February. So there are going to be a crap ton of unboxings, all that stuff. I've got it. I mean, there's a whole lot of figures there. I have an all-in from them, so I'll be getting that shortly. There's a couple that I plan to keep and some that I plan to probably unload.
Prepare for Instagram to be overloaded with bear pictures.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of bear.
Yeah.
I guess it's better to have bears than bear asses, but we have bears.
True.
Well, tons of bears. And then, obviously, they have all their Cosmic Legions, Hero Zone, their Infinite Legions, Fadian. And then they've got some stuff coming, Ashes of Agbar coming back in Q2, which I mean I feel like that's coming in hot and quick right after Rising Suns.
Yeah,
And then you have the Graveyards, and you've got the Mythic Legions, Legacies of Mythos, Q2, and then we have the big one.
They're really trying to get it so they can have a release like every quarter, right, or shipment every quarter.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think last year was just a mess because of the
tariffs and everything shot everything.
I think that really messed a lot of stuff up, right? Yeah. A lot of folks they slowing things down and trying to protect themselves and protect the consumers where they could. This year, I mean, look I've shown you 3 news articles so far, and of all 3 of those news articles about stuff coming soon, right? And like production happening, shipments being made. So this is going to be a big year for a lot of these independent toy lines.
Yeah.
And Four Horsemen's no different. And Four Horsemen's the pack leader right now. So, I'm very excited for a lot of this stuff. Another update from those guys. They were actually at I don't know what it stands for, but it's the PAGE Expo and RPG.
They're showing off their.
Well, you know what it is? It's Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo is what it is.
Yeah.
And they were there for really focusing on spreading brand awareness of the Four Horsemen and the Mythic Legions, but really trying to make a strong push for their Mythic Legions role-playing game. They had some game assets and Kickstarter content on display. You even saw what was previously, I believe, only had been seen as a kind of rendering, a grayscale-looking one. You now see a painted Elf Rogue kind of full debut there. You also see, the Human Cleric and some of the different offerings that are going to be available for that. So definitely gave themselves the opportunity to put themselves in front of a market that may have not been previously explored for the Mythic Legions and the Four Horsemen lines because they're able to get out there with the toys. Savage Crucible, quick update here. They had a big show last night or the night before. I have not watched the whole thing, so I can't give you all the nitty-gritty on the details. But they did go ahead and make an announcement recently that the Savage stands had started to ship, and the dungeon sets have been shipping. Some of the folks in this chat have already received them and spoke to them earlier on in the chat, so we know those are landing. We do know that once they fulfill all of the pre-orders, they had moved into a new warehouse and getting situated, and there will be an in-stock sale, which again, Ed, you and I already kind of touched on this, is that when that happens, there's a whole bunch of Wave 2 restock items that they're getting in, including the Varnox figures. One of the things I will point out about the Varnox, if you're ordering them online, you may get 2 of the same, you may get 1 of each, but it's going to be random because that's how they're shipping them. There is kind of a running variant, so you can get the alternative ab tattoo if and one of them has a different head in place in the package.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it contains the exact same items. And then the in-stock sale date hasn't been announced. But if you have not gotten a hold of any Savage Crucible figures and you enjoy that fantasy space, I'm telling you, check them out. They may be one of the best figures I've had the opportunity to hold. This Wave 2 is it's tremendously, it's high quality.
Yeah, sure.
It's really good.
100%.
They also had some updates on the timeline. Continue to keep it on their websites. The best place to get that information around Wave 3, Elric, and Death Dealer, having some updates in some of their recent posts. But yeah, check their stream out they did. I have to catch up on some of that. But as far as their publicly posted information, this is about it right now. And then we have Tide Realm Corsairs. They continuing to push out lore and kind of promote this new Kickstarter that's going to be going live later this year. They've confirmed that they're going to be launching in 2026. We've touched on these guys before, but they're talking about the Tideborn and the Perished. So these are, continued expansions into the different lore. This line is very, very lore related, which is part of the reason it's pulling me in. But it's around pirates and kind of that whole mess, which is exciting. You've got, Captain Oligol, Deathmoid, and you got the Void of the Black Tide. You've got Carbius of the Dread Tide. So it's going to be an interesting line. But they've announced, and they've been actually showing up on a couple streams. I was watching one with what is it called again? It's the shelf one there, Ed.
Yeah, just shelve it.
Just shelve it over there with Jesse and Curtis. They were actually on there at 8 o'clock tonight, just before we went live. So definitely, if you didn't catch that, go back and check that out because I know they had those guys on there to talk a little bit about that. Additionally, Creative Realms and Tide Realms Corsairs have announced that they're going to be at ToyLanta. So you'll have the opportunity to see them in person at ToyLanta March 27th through the 29th. The booth will start spotlight the upcoming Tide Realms of the Corsairs Kickstarter, along with a curated lineup of other indie toy creator items. It marks Creative Realms' first full convention booth, which is a major milestone for their team. And then more details and official reveals are scheduled to begin rolling out early next week. So definitely keep your eye on that and an opportunity to see Tide Realms in person. They also posted an image here, which I wanted to show, kind of giving you a size comparison. And one of the things I want to make sure I call out is that the Tide Realm figures, these are designed or at least like kind of renders and that whole process by the Four Horsemen sculptors. I think sculpted by the Four Horsemen sculptors there. So it's very much in line with some of the quality of items you've seen from those guys. But you can see here they've got one of the figures alongside an angular from the Fury toy line, so you can kind of see in place the scale and how it could possibly play with or against those characters and other toys in the kind of adjacent space there. But yeah, I would definitely, if you haven't followed them, go check them out on Instagram and follow. They're definitely showing up on different streams. Maybe we'll be able to get them on here at some point to talk a little bit more about that line and let Ed pick their brain, because I know Ed is a huge fan of Pirates, and this is a gap in the space for sure. Next up, quick update from Valaverse. Really, the big update was that they announced their schedule, so they're going to be at Zolicon. Many of the other folks have been. Toy Tuber Expo, Titans Toy Expo, I believe that's in Tennessee, DFW down in Dallas, and then Northeast Comic Con and Shop Curiosity. Bunch of different dates. Zolicon, I know they've announced the Black exclusive. They are going to have an exclusive item at DFW. They're going to have an exclusive item at Toy Tuber Expo. They're supposed to have an exclusive at Titans Toy Expo. And then they are also going to, just trying to find my notes here. They did announce in the last couple days that there is a big update around Action Force 1944, and that they have confirmed a massive, very exciting new licensed character or license of some sort that they're associated with, which they will announce at their annual DFW reveal panel in June later this year. So if you're interested in that, that'll be the time and place to pay attention. I'm sure they'll stream or post a video later, and you'll be hearing a ton coming out of that panel after the fact, because between the Black and the 1944 stuff, I'm sure he'll have a ton of information. But some big IP.
Yeah, I don't know what the IP is. I'm interested to hear what the IP is.
I am too.
It's tied to the 1944, so we'll see what that is.
That is very interesting to me. Then I'm like, is it the guns? Does it?
The thing I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it's like, there's not been a World War II based movie in quite a while, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they got a likeness, likeness license from one of the guys there. Like Tom Hanks was in,
oh goodness.
Say not that I'm sure it's not Tom Hanks, but I'm saying
But yeah.
Like an individual character, right? But outside of that, the only thing I could think of is, either a weapons manufacturer or something like that, because it's tied to the 1944, which is odd, right?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's exactly where my mind went with it, is the weapons space. But it'll be interesting to see as they come out. Before I go into the topic, though, Ed, I'm going to go to the slide, but before we dive in there, do you want to hit up the chat? Because I know I was running through the news for a bit.
We got quite a bit of chats here. Let me find the first one to get to. As for that one. Oh, Jesus, hold on. So, Action Joe Figs is here. Where is it? Right there. Saying hello. What's up, Action Joe Figs? What's up, man? AJF. Matthew says that the deluxe stands for the Savage Crucible stands were only $24 at the pre-order, and the basic stands are like $4 for $12. So, definitely great price. 3-star draw. What's up, fellas? What's up? 3-star. What's going on, Darren? GI Jetman's here saying, what's up, Mr. Wonderful? Action Figs in chat. And greetings from Guatemala. What's up, Jim?
Oh, Jim.
Are Joe Fest and Toylanta in the same area? Yeah, pretty much, but they're not. Joe Fest is different than Toylanta and Joe Lanta. Joe Lanta and Toylanta are usually held in the same facility by the same people. Joe Fest is separate.
Okay.
Mr. Wonderful is my favorite baby face. Does that make Action Figs my favorite heel? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And Largo saying, along with Jetman, who's going to Zolocon because he needs one of the Monster Force exclusives.
I think I know a few people. So,
yeah, there's a few people.
Hit me up, Largo. I can point you in the right direction.
And this is when you were having your technical difficulties. Jim saying, "Do better, you bum."
Yeah, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah. Jim saying, "Cool to see those steel molds. He's never seen them before. Hope they do well." Yeah, Brew Rums is looking pretty good. I just hope they don't oversell themselves.
I just want to see him get something out. Like, just start trickling them out. Let's do what we can, and because once they do good, and they get something out there, it's just going to build momentum. So
exactly. Jetman saying, "Shouldn't you put a black bar across the front of that female chick?" No, because there's no nipple showing. Boobs are okay, just no nipples. That's how it works in America. Right. Boobs are good, nipples are bad. Then 3-star saying the bearded head on that Highland guy from Mythic Legions does have a resemblance to Mel Gibson a little bit. Yeah, he kind of does.
Yes. I saw that same thing.
Is it a dwarf? No, it's not a dwarf.
No,
it doesn't have the dwarf legs.
No, it's more like a knight.
Yeah.
Or like a
standard size figure. Yeah. Random Diorama. Radnom, what's up? Saying what's up, Ed, Travis, and the rest of you nerds. Check out Random Diorama on eBay and his Etsy store. He's selling all sorts of awesome stuff. So go over there and pick some of the stuff up if you need some good stuff to do some pictures with. Jetman saying he did get his dungeon.
Sweet.
Endless Fables, Brian saying Savage Crucible is doing that to strengthen the trade community. Varnox and Mystery Accessories are a part of that. Yep.
Apps and the cards. I mean, just
100%.
I think they're trying to build that community to have a community-backed product. And I mean, that's why they have the Titan Toy Expo and they're doing a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Jim saying, will there be smelly pirate hookers? I'd buy that for $1. Yeah.
It's going to cost you more than $1. It's 2026 now, brother.
Matthew Matt's saying he's still waiting on 4 Kickstarters to finish fulfilling. He's done with Kickstarters, he thinks, at least to the toy ones. Yeah, some of them take a long time, and some of them it's not their fault. But, yeah, there's some of them that just – that's why most of the time I don't do back Kickstarters. I just wait for them to sell on BBTS. Might have to pay an extra $5, but I'm not very patient. So
I don't know that
I'm patient with everything except for my toys, which is weird.
That might be a good topic to talk about. Where is Kickstarter going in the toy space in the future? Because the wind has come out from underneath a lot of them. They have slowed down quite a bit. There are few of them. We're definitely not at the peak we were at in 2021, 2022, and even in 2023. So,
3-star saying, "Oh, sweet! Looking forward to seeing that. Can't go wrong with the pirate stuff." Yeah, that line's looking good.
And then for me, that thing is huge with the lore.
Yeah.
If you're in the lore, they're doing a really good job with that stuff.
And he doesn't live too far from the Titan Toy Expo is.
Oh, cool.
Velaverse does not go to Joe Fest any longer.
No.
And AJF will be at DFW, but he lives in Texas, so he's not too far from there. So that's an easier show for him to go to, of course. Band of Brothers may be the main leader. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not really been a World War II based movie recent years, right? So I mean, it's hard to say.
That would make sense. Is Band of Brothers an HBO thing?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And was Black Sail also HBO?
Black Sails was, I think that was HBO. Cinemax
So
or
the
HBO.
connection could be there, so it would
Yeah.
make sense. Well, HBO and Cinemax is all the same, right? HBO Max at one point or whatever they are now.
Yeah. Thor's asking, will either of us be attending AwesomeCon 2025 in March at the DC Convention Center? I will not be.
I did not know about it, but being transparent for me this year is really difficult for conventions. Even for as much as I want to get Hexastack out at these conventions, it's gonna be very difficult for me to personally attend them this year, just because it's my daughter's senior year and she's got a lot of stuff going on with her cheer and her flag football stuff this year. 2027 will be a much more in attendance year for me. I'm hoping. I plan to be at Legion's Con in some capacity this year. That'll likely be the only convention that I make it to. Potentially some in New Jersey, which are a little bit closer and don't require a full weekend event for me if the weekend happens to line up properly.
Yeah, I will be at Joe Fest is the only con I plan on being at this year. 3-star saying he's interested in seeing what the World War II weapons pack would be like. Yeah. And AGF saying the actor that plays him. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's actually tied to a movie. I think it's tied to an individual character, person's license.
It's what he did with. I mean, he's done it quite a bit, right? He did it with the military guy
Tim
Kennedy, and then he just did it for the Black Sails, and he was originally doing it with the UFC girl or the MMA fighter for a minute that he had to that kind of got scrapped because of whatever, and now he's doing it. It would make sense. I was thinking weapon, but it would make sense with like Band of Brothers or something like that for sure.
I'm with Largo, man. Give me some Dirty Dozen figures. I'd be all over that shit. Hell yeah. And Matthew also saying he'll be at DFW because he lives right there too. And AJF saying he doesn't back Kickstarters either.
Yeah, I mean, it's
awesome Batman poster behind you. Oh, thanks. I actually got that for my son, but since he lives here now, I just put it up in my living room because Batman is the best superhero there is, right, Travis?
What's that?
I said Batman is the best superhero there is, right, Travis? Just nod your head.
Well, what's that? I can't hear you when you speak profanities. It automatically blurs it out on here.
Knights of the Seven Kingdoms is in now. Got to go. All right, Matthew. Have a good night.
Oh,
brother.
Yeah.
Sisu and Sisu 2 were fun. Yeah, Sisu was awesome. I got to see Sisu 2 for sure. And that is it. So let's head on into the main topic.
Let's go back into there. You guys seeing that now? We're good?
Yep, we're good.
Awesome. So, Ed, right? This is our first Sunday show. We wanted to kind of frame this up just a little bit differently than, our normal topics, right? It's not about leaks, insider info, how things are done. This one's about kind of our hopes, dreams, and predictions. So this is kind of stuff we want to see, what we think could happen, and some stuff that may, shock us or like what we want, like what we heavily would like champion seeing this year. Some of them are maybe realistic. Some are straight up collector fantasy. So we'll dive into that. First, we're going to start with some of the stuff that you sent over to me. Then we'll go into mine. But up first, we have, 3 of your hopes that you kind of put together, right? None of them are small swings. First one is the Dwarves by Savage Crucible, which we've seen prototypes and things like that. But, it wouldn't just be about adding another character type. It would expand their entire, lore and mythology of the line. What is behind that? Like, what are you looking for from that?
So first, let's just put a caveat on this, that these hopeful things are nothing like insider information that we have. These are just things that we kind of think will happen or are hopeful will happen. The biggest thing is for me is, Savage has their Lemurian lizard type guys, right? And they've done a standard lizard head, a snake head, and a couple different things like that, a dinosaur head. Then they got their humans, which are, basically really, really, barbarians, those kind of figures. They got the Jaeger type character, which is, a hybrid humanoid dog, wolf, whatever he's supposed to be. I'm not really sure. But like all their figures are basically the same. And I'm just hoping with the dwarves or something along those lines, even like an elf type character where it's a shorter build, shorter, maybe stockier, or shorter, more thin muscular build will be, just something different for the line. I mean, I know they got the fish piranha people coming out this year, but like those guys have kind of like that, knock-kneed type of look to them where they're, more, fish looking. So I'm just
Yeah,
hoping that they give us a little bit different, just so we can have some variety. You know, right now I look at my Savage collection, and I mostly have just the humans, and it's like all of them look pretty much the same. So it's just, just to get some variation and stuff in there.
absolutely. No, that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
we'll dive right into your second piece, a vehicle from BPTS,
So
right?
I don't I just hope, and I think that with the way Big Bad Workshop is running some of their other things, and how Big Bad is tied with Gridiron right now. Gridiron does vehicles, plus there's Fans Hobbies that just released that Doom Buggy thing for the Fext Toys 1/6 scale or 1/12 scale figures that they're doing. I think we'll
Yep.
see at some point before the end of this year, we'll see an announcement for Monster Force having some type of vehicle, whether that's an ATV style vehicle or like a fully armored, rig. It's hard to say, but I think we'll see something from Monster Force as far as the vehicle goes, because BBTS right now, the Big Bad Workshop, they've got what, 7, 8 different lines of figures out right now, 6 anyway. And they're pumping out the figures, but there's no vehicles for any of them yet. And I think that's the next. Maybe it might be a playset, but something big. Whether it's a playset or a vehicle tied to the Monster Force, I think we'll see, because that's the line that's the biggest for them right now, right? I mean, they're pumping out Monster Force stuff like crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like from that, and just kind of not to go down a rabbit hole, but I think there's a missing, like, it could just be me, and I may not be aware of it, but like I feel like the gap in the vehicle market right now would be like a traditional style pickup truck, like a 2-seater pickup truck with like the racks on the back and stuff, where you could like put one
Yeah.
or two guys, and it would fit totally in like that Monster Force vibe. Like,
Yeah, give it kind of, a post-apocalyptic look to it, kind of similar to that one that Acid Rain did with their line
yes,
for the 118th, where
yeah,
it was a truck, had some stuff that you could put
yep,
on the back or take off, that type of thing would be perfect,
yeah,
100%. I
that
think
would be
that's
cool.
definitely a thing that's missing. We've got a few cars. We got the Ramen Racer. Now we got the Bandito coming out.
Finesse,
We got
that
all the
finesse would be
Ramen's
like one.
vans, all the Ramen's tanks. We got the Vanguard coming or out, So, I mean, it's like, I think you're right. A pickup style truck thing with, totally set for off-road, a post-apocalyptic look to it would be awesome. So,
This
um,
right here. What 3 Star said. He had it like an insurgent style pickup.
yeah,
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
yep, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
cool.
if you go to, yeah, don't Google Dungeon Playset. It doesn't end well. Yeah, 100%.
um, up next, you talk about one of the toy lines. It's not so indie, but it does fall into a space that we find interesting because of the fact that it's they're on the lower end of like the market when it comes to actually delivering on action figures, because it's been
Yeah,
primarily like diecast cars and things. But you talk about Jada here doing some Easter and Christmas classic stuff, which I thought was really interesting because they've done so good with like their box cereal stuff, which I hadn't even been interested in, but I saw the video Bobby did over on his Valverse channel like a week or two ago, where he talked about the cereal guys and all that stuff.
yeah,
I think it was his station. I think that's where I saw it, and like it was some cool stuff.
yeah. So they got, they came out with the Street Fighter, which were amazing figures, right? And then
Amazing, really.
they started doing like the cereal icons, right? They did
Yep,
the monsters from the Halloween cereals. They did Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger. They got Cheetah from Cheetos, excuse me, and now they got Fred and Barney coming out from Cocoa Pebbles and Fruity Pebbles.
yep,
Um, and then at the end of last year, they shipped out the Frosty the Snowman, right? And
yep.
Frosty comes in this
Seen a lot
awesome,
of
like
reviews.
old school television box. It's amazing looking figure. Um, and I just think with all of the nostalgia stuff that's out there, right? This could be something that they could do similar to like the figure obscura, where it's, take some of the old Rankin Bass holiday specials, because there was a few Easter Bunny ones, there's tons of Christmas ones, and just put out a figure at Easter time of, Sonny the Easter Bunny, or, the character that the guy, the men that were in there. There was a caterpillar. There's plenty of stuff for Easter, and like I said, Christmas and endless, right? I mean, like Jim's saying, Yukon Cornelius would be awesome. And they've done, other companies have done like the Rudolph stuff, but not a lot of companies have touched much outside of Rudolph and Christmas and Santa Claus is coming to town. Outside of that, there really hasn't been many things. So I mean, they have a whole lot of stuff they could do. And like I said, it could be like Figure Obscura, where it's one figure every 6 months, and then you're golden. Won't put much strain on them or the or the factories to get out, right?
Yeah. So what made me think, as you said this, and I know this isn't what we're talking about specifically in the bullet calls, or prediction pieces, but like what's interesting is that direction. And when you say Christmas stuff, it makes me instantly think of Charlie Brown Christmas and Snoopy and stuff. Like they could really knock a Charlie Brown line out, which then leads me down. And I know it's not related, but it's retro stuff, and I think the Hanna-Barbera stuff, like all of that Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah, well, right now they're doing the whole Scooby-Doo line, right? They got that.
Yep.
And now they're doing Fred and Barney from the cereal line, not the Hanna-Barbera line. But I think if they go to Hanna-Barbera and say, hey, look, we're doing these figures, we're selling them really good, you'll start seeing like Space Ghost and Yogi Bear and all these guys.
Yeah. Right? Yogi, that's the one I was thinking. Right? I was thinking Yogi for sure and all of that. So yeah, Jada's crushing it in that mass market area with like a lot of stuff that like touches like a lot of the nostalgia and stuff. So like they could do big things for sure. They nailed it with I know people were begging for them to get Mortal Kombat, right? Like that was a huge thing. That's interesting. Which of all of these do you think is the most realistic that you've listed, though?
I think number one is going to be the most realistic. The most, I think that'll definitely be the one you see first. Like I said, I think Monster Force, you'll see something announced for them probably towards the end of the year, right, for a pre-order. Because honestly, Fresh Monkey Fiction right now, doing the stuff that they're doing with the Operation Monster Force, I don't see what else they can do for their Naughty and Nice line other than going to like Halloween or something, because they pretty much overdone Santa Claus by now. They got the reindeer, other than reprints, which they're going to definitely do reprints, they've done every option for these Santa Clauses they could possibly do. So I don't see them, like this year they did centaurs based on reindeer bodies with Santa Claus front and a Krampus front. They've done an evil goat. I think that one's pretty much played itself out. So I think you'll see something from them for Monster Force, probably like go pre-order like September, October timeframe.
Okay.
Right around October, Halloween time, they'll announce some vehicle or something.
Oh yeah.
But I think the dwarves will see at one of those. When Savage did their last update that I watched, they talked about how they're going to
7 drops.
Yeah, have a drop at most of the cons they're going to, and I think you'll see a dwarf or some other type of character at least. That's that's a different style body, different scale body, different size.
So
body.
You think that's the most likely as the Savage?
Yeah, I think that's the one most likely. Yeah.
Okay. On to the next one. What is your most anticipated stuff, right? So this is what, we're going to talk about. We know what Ed's excited about. He already kind of touched on some of this stuff in the past, but, you've got the cryptid Sasquatch. That's your on your list here, right? From Loose Collector.
Loose Collector, their crypt. They got Sasquatch, the Yeti, and the Skookum coming out, and I'm super excited for them. Got them all pre-ordered, ready to go. But a lot
of plastic.
A lot of They're bigger than the Dr. Hyde or Mr. Hyde that I have, and he's huge, right? So, but I can't wait to get these guys and get them out into the woods, and it's just I'm gonna have too much fun. And of course, now that Jeff at Skunkworks Studios is doing his Hunters of the Unknown, I'm golden, right? I got 3.
Yeah, you got to use
right there.
You could use the Monster Force characters, and they're out there hunting for that stuff. Whatever you want to do, you definitely got some cool stuff you can do with that, and those are cool. I feel like you're gonna have to get, what is it? Was it the Red Wagon or whatever? What is that? Like the flying, like when we were kids, they had the little wagons we used to pull.
Oh, Radio Flyer.
Radio Flyer, that's something. You're gonna have to get a Radio Flyer. Your book bag's not gonna do it anymore. You're gonna need.
I'm gonna have to
Radio Flyer.
I'm gonna have to go talk to my ex-father-in-law and start hiking back in his woods again, because taking a wagon or anything where I go is almost impossible because there's so many creeks you got to cross.
Gotcha.
Right? I mean, it could be done, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. Whereas it's all just I could go out into the woods and I could take his ATV and pile it all in the back and take it out there, and do a good photo shoot with it. So
I'm sure most people have heard of like the bug out bags, and Ed's got his bug out bag. It's loaded with a bunch of plastic figures to go out in the woods.
I've taken some big things out to the woods. I took one of the colossal size Jurassic Park dinosaurs, right? And it was so
okay.
big I had to actually carry it. And here I am walking through this trail, and there's people coming at me. I'm carrying this big friggin' dinosaur, and got my
Yeah.
backpack loaded with action figures. I'm just like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I don't care, but it's like with these guys, I mean, they're gonna one figure is gonna take up the whole pocket of my
Absolutely.
backpack. So, it's
Good deal.
gonna be fun trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it, but I'll figure it out. Don't worry about that.
Nice, nice. And next, you have one of your exciting items is the Death Dealer and horse.
Oh
And
yeah,
the horse
totally
hasn't
excited
gone
for
up for
that.
order yet, but the
Yeah,
Death Dealer has been. We've seen it. We've seen the new sculpt for the heads and
yeah.
whatnot for that. So you're excited for that one
So,
for sure.
I mean, it's Savage Crucible first of all, so I'm excited for it that to begin with. But the Death Dealer was like the mascot for the army platoon that I was in.
When you
So we
served.
had Death Dealer as our thing, right? And it was, we had hats and T-shirts made and all sorts of shit with the Death Dealer on it. So getting him is kind of like a twofold reason, right? So Savage Crucible, awesome figure. It's going to be awesome. Fish Toys horse, they're awesome. And then
Yeah.
having it tied to my army days is just incredible.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a little. It's memorabilia for your own personal
Yeah,
piece, not
exactly.
outside of just the
Yeah,
and all that stuff for
because
sure.
we were called the Rough Riders, so we used the Death Dealer as our Rough Rider.
That's awesome. And then last but not least, you have the Agents of Omega, which is a fairly new announcement that you're excited for. Is that coming out in 2026?
Yeah, that's supposed to be released, I
Okay.
think, May or June. So perfect timing for me,
Okay.
right? And
Oh
now
yeah.
knowing BBTS, it'll probably come out in like August, but as long as it comes out before next winter, I'm good. But
Yeah.
with my love of the adventure team from GI Joe, this is like right up the alley of that. They got uh whoever's at BBTS working on some of these obviously has some kind of love for the adventure team because there's heads designed for the Monster Force figures that are similar to
Right.
the adventure team. This guy with the emblem that they made for the Agents of Omega is just a callback, homage to the adventure team, logo patch that they used to wear. And, all their sets were titled, Hunt for the Pygmy Gorilla or, search for escape the abominable snowman, things like that. And this one's called what is it, search for the serpent temple,
Secret of the Serpent Temple.
secret of the serpent temple, right? So I mean that's
Yeah.
totally an homage to the adventure team. So yeah, totally excited
Yeah.
for this one.
That's awesome. Now, of the three, which one are you most excited for?
I got to go with the crypt, just being such
Okay.
a Squatch enthusiast, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been going out squatching in the woods since I was, 14 years old and been a lover of that cryptid since I was, 5 years old. And my dad took me to a Sasquatch horror movie and I had nightmares for days after
Oh
that,
goodness.
I mean, since then I've been looking for him, I've been out looking for him.
Yeah.
Had a
I,
couple
I, I haven't
encounters and, so
I haven't slept good since Harry and the Hendersons and that squash. That was rough. That was rough. That was a hard one. That's about as deep as I go on those, but
yeah.
that's awesome. Good deal. Well, next up, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that for me, right?
Well,
So what I'm hoping for.
let's
Go
take
for
a
it.
quick break and just run through the
Yeah,
chat real quick because there was a
absolutely.
bunch of chats related to that. Let's see. Largo saying he wishes that Jada had finished up with the Mummy before they ended their Universal Monster line. Yeah, it's too bad they didn't do that. Nolan saying he would love some Peanuts figures and all the Hanna-Barbera figures. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And 3 Star saying he needs a Huckleberry Hound from Hanna-Barbera. Jada could do an awesome Johnny Quest line for sure, Largo. I would love to see an awesome Johnny Quest line.
Absolutely.
3 Star saying Hong Kong Fooey. Yes. Mrs.
Yes.
Claus. Jim saying.
He was saying that in reference to the big bad Christmas stuff.
Yeah. And he ordered Bigfoot and Chatsworth. Can't wait. Yeah, Chatsworth I'm excited for too. Nolan's looking forward to getting it. He's up in Sasquatch country up in Canada there. So he's definitely looking forward to it. Robert from Action Figure Sold Separately is pre-ordered the Death Dealer. Stoked for it. Yeah, 100%. And I'd come to Guatemala. We'll do a photo safari at Tikal. I need a wingman. Dude, I'd be all over that if I could if I could afford to swing down there, we'd spend all day, out in the woods at Tikal, the ancient ruins. Then we'd spend all night in your bar. It'd be a fucking blast.
That'd be awesome. I'd like to see
And Stanley, who is also from Squatch territory, because he's up in Seattle, Crypt Bigfoot as Seattle Sonic Squatch. Yeah, do it, man. Find like what are the little bears they sell? The little stuffed animals that they sell. Build-A-Bear, right? You can find like a Build-A-Bear t-shirt or something with the Seattle Seahawks Sonics emblem on there. It'd fit on the Squatch, trust me. I mean, these things are gigantic, right? So if you wanted to do that, Stanley, you could definitely do that.
That would make sense.
Yeah. All right, dude. That's it. On to yours now.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Cool. So jumping into mine, my biggest hope this year is Brutal Realm, right? I mean, I guess it's a toss-up, but I want them to come through. I don't want them to just release something. I want them to land strong. Like, I want them to have a moment. I want them to really come out big. And it doesn't have to be 12 figures at once, but I want to see them jumpstart and come out because I like to see more players in the game, right? We've seen Savage Crucible. They're winning. We've seen Four Horsemen. They're winning. Animal Wars of the Kingdom are winning. Like, these are all, Valaverse, like all of these independent toys. They've already delivered. We've seen theirs. Brutal Realm is one of the ones that we're a little bit closer to following for the, for the last year and a half that hasn't delivered. And that's not critical of them. I get it. But I want to see them have a big year because I want to see another player in the game. I want to see.
When I talked to the guy from Brutal Realm at Joe Fest, he was kind of explaining things in the same vein as what you were saying about Sparrow, right? And I only say Sparrow because that guy said Sparrow Toys and IG when he was talking about Spiro Toys. Said it wrong. Yeah. But anyway, he was talking about how like they'd gotten so many different things done, but like they keep going back to the drawing board because of quality and making sure that they deliver the right thing. But they definitely need to land like at least 3 figures, for a release this year. Right. I mean, because it's if they don't land anything this year, people are really going to start backing out. Unfortunately,
if they deliver something this year, I'm fine. If they deliver one, whatever it is, I want at least one strong figure in hand this year without, and this is not me trying to be critical of another independent creator.
Later, Menhoza. Good luck with the water heater, brother.
Oh, good luck, man. But the ones that you picked up for me for Joe Fest last like 2 years ago, I think. I can't remember what it was called, but was it Fist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and again, not being critical of them, I hope they continue to build and bring something else out stronger and more quality. And it was the first runs down there in South America or whatever. But
that's like that guy didn't just launch a toy line. He opened up an entire new factory, right?
Right, and that's why
hasn't done toys in forever. So I mean,
right.
You got to give it to him for what he did.
Absolutely.
The guy's a great guy. I mean, I had the one that broke and he replaced mine without a problem, and he stayed in contact with me and stuff like that. So, I mean,
I've known that guy longer than I've known you, Ed. And the reason I say that is because I followed him
Patreon,
from the
right?
3D printing. Yeah, I was part of his Patreon like a year or so before I really got into the toy community when I was just messing around with 3D printing to start. And, I wanted to test print something. I reached out. I was like, hey, before I go head in on this, do you have a sample print so I can see how they come out on my printer? And he sent it to me and I started playing around with it. I was trying to run it and it was not a resin printer. It was the FDM. And he's like, oh, you need to do it on that. And like, he didn't charge me anything for it. He let me try it. And then when I got my resin printer, and then I signed up for his stuff because I was like, okay, cool. Like this guy back. So like, again, I'm not being critical. I know what he was trying to do and I commend him. I hope he's successful. He's still doing really cool stuff. But with Brutal Realm, I really hope that they hit home. Yeah. Even if it's one figure that they deliver in 2026, one of the many that they've listed. If they can deliver Crowman or something this year, and it is quality product without an issue, solid plastic, not gummy, it feels good. And I'm not saying they won't deliver that. Yeah. That is what I want to see from them. That's what I'm hoping for in 2026. Savage Crucible, I'm hoping for something completely unexpected. Yeah. They've announced 7 random drops. Not just another character. And again, this isn't me being critical of them either. I love their stuff. I love what they're doing. I don't want something anybody expects. That's
kind of what I was saying with the dwarves with mine, right? With Savage Crucible. It's like,
see, I won't be on the dwarf. Right. I won't be on the dwarf though.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like I said, dwarves, because that's a safe bet, right? That I think could happen. but I would love just to
Absolutely.
see something that's just like, holy shit, where'd this come from, right? I mean, like their throne is something that you go, holy shit, where'd this come
Oh
from,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, the way they did that, they
Absolutely.
had to do it that way, right? Because just
Oh yeah.
everything. But like that kind of
Oh
thing, I
yeah.
agree with 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's very much about something that they like. The dwarf, we've seen him flown around since PowerCon. I
Yep.
have.
Yep.
So
100%.
I don't want to say I'm exhausted from that because that's not the words. If that comes out this year, I'm happy. Like I'm
Right.
not complaining. Like if that's the floor and that's what we get, like if that's like the ceiling and that's all we get, that's not a bad ceiling this year. I
Right.
won't complain because we didn't expect it. But I've seen it. I would rather see something out of one of the back catalog items that they haven't announced doing, some of the sketches and rough drafts from that I
Yeah.
showed earlier last year
Yep.
that we had scrounged up on the internet from them. Like that's what I want. Something we didn't see. I don't want, and it's
Yeah,
doesn't.
like some kind of crazy mount, right? Like a small dragon
Now
mount or
could be a character,
yeah, something, right?
something like could be like a unique character for the story. It could be one of their half wolf, could be their shark people, like it could
Right.
be anything. Something out of that catalog of stuff that they have that we just didn't see coming this year. That's what I want from them.
Yeah.
And for me, last but not least, wrestling.
Gotta have the wrestling
WWE
in there.
Ultimates. Again, not an indie line, but wrestling has like been so in my face the last year and a half or so. I've enjoyed the heck out of it a ton. Just like it's the one thing in my life as far as like passions and non-family type things that always finds a way to clench its claws right into me and suck me back in every time. So there's just been so much cool development with the TKO WWE stuff that they own and have access to. They have the AAA down there in Mexico now, some cool unique character options. It'd be really cool just sort of something this year that nobody was expecting to come out of their announcements in the next few months. They got FanFest and different things, so that's what I'd like to see this year. Yeah, that's what I had for this one. What I'm most excited for, I kept it kind of simple. Animal Warriors: The Kingdom, man, it is going to be an awesome year. This is coming off the heels of that email from Adam and Brick and Jason last week from the Kickstarter, where we know the Brawlers and Reptiles should be landing this year. It's been a little bit of a wait. I'm not complaining. I know that they're putting the best effort forth to deliver on a top quality product, which we've seen already in their prior releases and even the stuff they were doing at Legion's Con. I'm very excited for this one. And I think I'm most excited for Animal Warriors: The Kingdom in this sense. And the reason they took it is I've got a bunch of Kickstarters. We got the Brutal. I want that to hit this year. We've got the Savage Crucible Wave 3 stuff. I want that to hit. I mean, I know it's going to hit this year. I'm not worried about that. They've been so consistent every year,
Yeah.
right around that June timeframe. I'm not worried about that. Of the 3 waves the Savages announced, this was the one that I cared the least about. I wasn't a huge fish guy. Like I love their stuff. I'm excited to get those. But what Animal Wars: The Kingdom did, it was such a lofty, gigantic goal to produce. I did the hashtag, right? No sleep till Mamba, right? Because I wanted that freaking that elephant, right? Like,
Well, if you look at what AWOC has done, right? They did what 10 or 12 different figures, a lot of them all different sculpts, right? It's not just taking the basic sculpt and making it painted different for this type of character and painted different for this type of character, maybe popping on a different head, right? They did complete different, lizards, birds. They got a fox and a bulldog, and yeah, granted he's on the brawler buck, but it's still different arms, different head, right? It's a lot different stuff. I mean, they really
did the Brawlers, the Speedsters, the Wings. They did even like the giant stuff, like the Hippo, like all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Rhino, whatever.
Yeah, the Rhino, the elephant, all elephant.
Of it, right? Yeah, and that's the thing. I think because it was such a lofty goal, and it hit, and it didn't really have a hard time hitting. Like they hit and they just kept going. But like what it was bringing forward was the parts library. They're going to have a parts library that is, I don't want to say superior to any of these other independent toy lines because I know Four Horsemen have been around for a long time. Valverse has been around for a while. I mean, but you have a parts library so diverse that they're going to be able to do so many freaking cool things in this world of the Animal Wars of the Kingdom, that like the excitement that I have for just getting these couple, the brawlers and reptiles this year, it just opens up that can of what they can do without having to fund Kickstarters
Right.
and get that brand out there. So I'm just so incredibly excited for these that this is I don't want to say the only thing I'm excited for, because I'm excited about other things, but this is the one that I'm most excited for this year, because to me it's going to be floodgates for these guys.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, they continue to market, they continue to get more eyes on the product, they continue to develop more, because no person that I've met and interacted with have I seen get these Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figures and be like, oh, these things are junk, right? Like once they get them, they're like, these are good. Like they're solid figures. So I'm very, very excited to dive in. I know Son of Wonder is counting down the days. I mean, he went so far as back as made me get him for Christmas a bunch of the 3 3/4, 4-inch size ones, because he wanted more AWOCs. So I know once these come, he and I are going to be having a freaking blast merging these and my Savage and my He-Man. It's whole world of fun there for sure. So yeah, these are my most excited, the one I'm most excited for this year. Yeah. And that kind of takes me to the next thing, Ed, which is the big 2026 prediction. And I'm on here, through you and I talking, indie lines that take bigger risks. Let's start there, right? Like, I want to see, and I think that 2026 is going to allow some indie lines to take bigger risks. And what I mean by this, I don't mean, and again, not being critical. At no time do I try to be critical of anyone or anybody, because I think all of these companies are doing great work. But to me, it's not a big risk to say, hey, let's start a Kickstarter and let's deliver on 12, 13 figures in a year. Like that's not a big risk. That's just a jump that you're probably going to disappoint yourself and many others for.
Yeah.
I'm talking a big risk. I'm talking dragons, vanguards. I'm talking those types of scenarios, like these toy lines, play sets, you said, with Big Bad Toys, right? Something. I think 2026, from my perspective, one of the big items is going to be taking a bigger risk on things that folks are going to want, that may entail the company stretching themselves a little bit, right? The Dragon, that's
100%.
That's one that comes to mind.
I think independent toy lines should look at Four Horsemen, what they did with the Dragon, and you got Ramen Toys pumping out vehicles, and you got Gridiron pumping out vehicles and extras for other toy lines, right? You got Valiverse with the Vanguard, right? That's what I was saying with the Monster Force, right? I think BBTS is in a position now where they could take that swing and pre-order a play set, whether it's a castle or something like that, or a vehicle like we talked about, to go with their figures, right? I think that's the next evolutionary step for them, right? And I think a lot of these companies see that people are willing to put the money down, right? Especially if it's a pre-order. And I think that's why like the Dragon did so well, because essentially it was a pre-order. They did a Kickstarter type of process for it, but it was essentially a Kickstarter, They put a limit out there. We need, 20,000 units or whatever it was, because they still got to make money. But I think, we need to see some of these independent toy companies take that shot and just see what happens, right?
For sure. Absolutely. And, you hit everything on the head there in comparing what I was saying. I think that's it, right? Like, take those shots, right? Take the risks. Like, army builders are cool. We like them, but use them as sprinkled in filters, right?
Yep.
Like, they're just little things, like less re-releases. I think that's what Largo said. And maybe it wasn't re-releases, but like repaints, right? Like, don't get me wrong, they have a place, and I get it. You got to do it. Like, but let's do it while swinging for the fences with a Dragon or a Vanguard or something else, right? Like, and these guys have shown to do it. But I think in 2026, these companies have to make themselves continue to stand out, and that's going to be the opportunity. They've been building the reserves per se, right? And I think now they have a lot of these. I don't want to say they have safe, foundations, but they have strong foundations within their communities. I think now's the time. 2026. Let's go bigger. Let's go bolder. Let's make bigger risks, because the fans, we're around here to support you.
Yeah, I mean, you got
take those shots.
Tide Realms with pirates. You
Yeah.
got Bobby with Valaverse coming out with a black, right?
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see somebody do a pirate ship, even if it's not a huge pirate ship, right? It could
Yeah.
be a little schooner type ship, you know, a little smaller one, right? But
Something.
that'd be awesome. I mean, just take that risk, put it out there, see what happens. I mean, yes, you
Heck,
got to invest money for designing it and stuff, making a, you know, a 3D model, but put it out there. If people don't want it, you didn't really lose that much money, you know? I mean, it's just,
follow the dragon. Follow
yep,
the dragon process. You put a little into it, come up with the estimates and stuff, figure out what it is, and then drop the Kickstarter self promoted Kickstarter approach,
yep,
right? Like a pre-order. Hey,
yep,
we got to hit this, or we drop. If we hit this, we're golden. We're gonna do this, right? Like do
yep,
that stuff, right? And then leading into the next one, which again, this is all indie stuff, right? And that's what we're focused on. But lore matters more now than ever. These guys all have a foundation, and I know I'm a huge lore guy, and some people don't need it, and some people make their own, and that's fine. But I think that Valaverse, Mythic Legions, Spiro with Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, like those are the three big ones. Monster Force, they all have like such deep lore content, like available. Like they already have a foundation for most of those lores if they don't have a deeper one already. Four Horsemen started to do it in 2024 when they announced that they were opening up the world and they were going beyond just the small section that you knew about and now exposing the rest of the world, right? I think these toy lines, these creators, they need to dive in deeper for that. I don't know if it is trying to work harder to get some sort of Amazon deal to promote their stuff or small blips on YouTube, even if it's just small 2-3 minute little things. You need something that individuals can
I,
consume in microbytes that make them love these characters that are coming out more
yeah.
than they do today.
You know, and I think that's one thing, like you'll see Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Workshop has started to do it a little bit more often than they were, is they have the guy that's the actual creator of the Monster Force, right?
Yep.
Coming on once a month now and kind of giving just going through the lore, right? Some of the
Yeah.
characters. And I think it's helping sell that brand because people are like, oh, well, there's more to these characters than just this is a monster hunter, this is a bad guy, right? And talks about like specific things that happen, incidents that happen, right? And then when you read like some of the comics that are on the inserts, the backside of the boxes, they're like, oh, well, that makes sense, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of lore in these lines. There's just not out there unless you go hunting for it, right?
And they're not digging into it like they
Right.
do things. Like I'll use Valaverse as an example. They did it with Action Force. They did their graphic novels. Being honest, from what I've picked up on, largely due in part to the COVID and the delays that was causing and stuff. Those comics kind of got generated because of that,
Right.
to give people a taste to draw them in. Well, it worked then. It will only continue to work now. I know that getting comics and stuff is an expensive
Right.
loss leader, but it's a loss leader, and it could potentially be a major loss leader. Yes, you lose a little bit, but you're going to lead in and generate attention on you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Take Savage Crucible, right? They could do Monster Force, either one. You could do like a 2-page comic book panel, right? One page with a couple panels, another page with a couple panels, and just put them out on Instagram or YouTube
Yeah,
once a week, right? Once every 2 weeks, whatever it takes to do those 2 panels,
yeah,
right? And then you got them digitally. We don't need them
Yep.
like a physical hard copy. As much as I'd love to have the hard copies, they don't need to be hard
Yeah.
copies, right? You don't have to have a graphic novel every time. Just a
Yeah.
couple of pages that tell, even if it's just a side story of a specific character, right? It'll still dig into that lore that someone will go, oh, I didn't really care about that character, but now I do, right? Now I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome, right?
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at is that lore is gonna, like, these guys all have foundations, but how do we advance this tenfold? How do we make it to the next level so that more people understand about this and like it? Because like somebody, like there's just so many, like I hear it all the time. Spiro, oh, people don't know what that is. They don't know what Wars of the Kingdom are. They don't know what the Savage Crucible are. Savage Crucible is playing in the space of having Frazetta artwork, so they're able to draw in a little bit of extra people there,
Right.
and whatnot. Mythic Legions has such a long period of time. One of the things that shocks me tremendously is the lack of book or graphic novel or digital graphic representation. Hell,
Yeah.
like just taking the pictures of action figures. They got what is his name? is it Trey, the photo guy?
Uh,
Once
Trevor.
once Trevor, 1/6 shooter.
Yeah.
He, let him take some pictures and like tell the story of these characters and like put up some pop up, like just give us something to dive into and get people's eyes on it. And then it's a loss. It's going to be a cost. You're going to have to invest in it. But you guys have invested so much into the foundations of your products to begin with. Make it over that next hump. You have to get it into the next generations of eyes. You need to get it into more people's hands to understand it so that they love it and are committed to it and feel like they not just
That's
collect.
that's what drove us as kids, right? Cartoons every Saturday, right? Cartoons every day after school, movies, right? I mean, when I was a kid, they made movies based off of or figures based off of R-rated movies that kids never
Yep,
even saw. And we were still like, yes,
absolutely.
give it to me, right? Because we saw the
Yep,
trailer on TV, which was, the PG part of the movie, right? It was like,
absolutely. Well, like
so
I liked Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, and I was interested in it. But when I came across Highly Articulated and Brick something going through,
right.
and they were doing the comic reviews and stuff, that's like what got me like hooked. I was like, "Ooh, let's talk!"
Yep.
Like I've been reading these comics. Like this is what I want. Like
Yeah.
let's because like then you start talking about it, more people are interested in it, and then you come on here and you can promote it through YouTube, and that's what's needed. Like I need to
Yep.
know more about these the Vargna
I
the
think
that
that might be the problem, right? Is that a lot of these companies hear so much that they got to have a cartoon, they got to have a comic book, right? And that's not really what's needed. Like you said, you could have Trevor take a couple pictures of one of the figures, for Mythic Legions through a little like scenario, right? Just take 5, 6 shots and just tell a story around those 5 or 6 shots. It doesn't need to be that involved. It's just,
yeah, and
you know,
it
I
has to be
tell
something
stories all the
associated with.
time with 5 pictures on Instagram. I mean, it's
That's
not that.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm looking for. It can be that simple. A bi-weekly, every few weeks, some sort of release of a few figures. It has to be somebody associated with the brand though, because they need to be able to tie it to the
Right.
the canned lore. So it's canned. It can't just be Ed and Travis making some cool stories up, which are cool, but like it needs to be that because that's what's going to be able to get out in front of people who don't know about it already and aren't familiar with it. And then they're going to be interested in it. And then they're going to love Who-Man and his story and beyond just the comics. So like that's what I think matters this year in 2026. So I'm hoping some of these creators take heed in that and start driving forward with more lore. And again, we already kind of covered it. Fewer safe releases, more bold swings. I think it's crossed everything, right? The
Yeah, I
safe
think.
releases are just constantly dropping your knights and your lizards, the same things, and your
Yeah,
army
I mean,
building
Valaverse
guys.
just put out a
It's the
whole
mid-
wave of just troopers, right? And it's like those are cool and that's great, for in between waves. But like, you got to do it in 2 ways. That's the one thing that Mythic Legions has done well, right? They release a brand new wave, they drop some, all stars or whatever it is, and then they do another wave, right? It's like
Yep.
that just keeps the excitement going, and it's.
And Four Horsemen has a head start, right? We know
Well, of
that.
course they do, right? I mean,
But
that's a given. But
but
like
these other guys, I mean, like if you
Bobby's
look at
Bobby's 5, 6 years in now, right? There's
right,
no reason that he's not dropping more waves consistently than he is.
like different unique stuff, right? Like
Right.
like
Yeah.
I look at like and it's definitely different with humans and military, right? They're going to be similar,
Right.
they're
100%.
not going
Yeah.
to be a unique buck for everyone. I get that, but like more named characters than Army Builder X, Army Builder Y, right?
Right.
Like I think of Four Horsemen has done a great job. They have a head start above everybody. The next in line, in my opinion, has to be Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I know they haven't delivered on the new Kickstarter, but once they do, who else besides Four Horsemen and Animal Warriors of the Kingdom have that parts library of all of these unique, diverse characters?
Nobody.
Nobody. I mean, Savage Crucible will have three at the
Yeah.
right
I
now
mean,
based on
but
what we
still,
know.
right? I mean,
They'll have three, but that's a fraction.
they don't have any like truly armored characters, right? They don't have a full
Not yet.
knight like
Right.
Mythic does, right? And they need
Yeah.
that. But right now, you could take that Jaeger body and maybe put a werewolf head on it or put some other type of head on there, right? And you got a
Yeah.
monster type character, sure. You got your lizard, you could do a little bit, put some wings on it or something, right? Put a tail on it, make it more, dragon like, whatever. But they're still very limited on their parts library. Once this Kickstarter from AWOC kicks off, I mean, their library is huge, right? It's
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think
Yeah. So
people
to
need to
your point,
understand that the bold swings doesn't have to be a dragon or a truck or right. What they need to do is stop focusing on having, you know, 8 to 12 characters and just do 4 detailed different characters in a wave, right? I mean,
yeah,
Mythic Legions does that. Now, granted, they do it where there's 6 to 10, right? But they got a year out, a year and a half out. Like if Savage Crucible came out with a 4-figure wave that was
that's
4
their plan. That's
totally
what they've
right,
stated. That's
right,
what they
4
stated they're
different
going to do.
totally characters, right? They could be miles ahead of where they're at.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and it's not critical. They had a plan.
Right,
They
of course.
finished with the Kickstarter. I get it, and we're assuming they had a head start, right? Like
I mean,
they
I'm
did
not
their
telling
first.
anybody how to run their business or, you know,
Right.
anything like that because I'm not there. I'm not doing it. So you run it your way, and I wish you the best, right? And I will support you if it's cool shit. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's just I think over the last year, and maybe some of it's from the tariffs, you know, slowing things down as far as like production goes, you know, with
Yeah.
new stuff that, you know, we've seen a shit ton of the same old recently. Even Monster Force has done it, right? Their
Yeah.
sleepwalkers are all basically the same things, and their good guys are all basically the same things, or you know, variants of those things. And it's like
Yeah.
I love that line, but you know, I don't need 7 different versions of a zombie, right? I mean, I just
Right. Right.
don't.
Right. Yeah, and I think the big piece is and the difference between a bold swing and a big risk. The dragon, the vanguard, those are like big risks, right? Like
Yeah.
a bold swing to me is creating unique characters. It
Yeah.
does, and your point, Savage has already announced that their goal is to do like 4 character
Right.
waves. It's a little less on the budget, allows them to keep things coming and go, moving a
Yeah.
little bit more efficiently and waiting on 6 different things and 7, 8 characters coming out at once. So like the idea that you go down to 4 characters, that's fine. And if you still want to sprinkle in your army building character, Savage has shown a way to do it, right? They have their new wave coming out that they announced earlier this year or late last year, which was the new Frazetta character. I can't think of his name. Khan.
Yeah, sure.
It's like Khan.
The hell is this? I can't go ahead.
Yeah, and then you have like the Medusa style character,
Yep.
and then you have like the sand snake looking character, right?
Yep.
So like one of them is like an army builder because the head can be swapped and whatnot.
Yeah.
One of them is a unique character, and then the other one could be a unique character slash army builder.
Well,
so
they even did the Frazetta so you can make that into a unique character or an army builder
right,
too, right?
you could,
So I mean,
but they're not like there's one in there that is a clear army builder,
right?
And you're not loaded with that. And again, that's not being critical to anyone.
Well, look,
I
like if you take Tide Corsairs, right?
Yeah.
Corsair Realms, whatever the hell they're calling themselves now, I forget.
Tide Realms.
Yep. Tide Realms, thank you. They have like that's a big swing, right? They got 3 characters. Now they're similar because they're all pirate captains, but they made 3 different pirate captains in a place where there's no pirates at now, right? No one's saying other than myself and a couple others, give me pirates, right? No one's screaming that from the hills, right? It's like I've been screaming it for a long time. Give me pirates, give me cowboys, right?
Yeah.
So it's about time somebody listened. But the point is that there wasn't a lot of there's no pirate shows. There's Black was out years ago, right? You got reruns, sure, but like no one was screaming for pirate shows. Now you got Bobby doing his pirates, Black, and but there's 3 unique characters coming that's a big swing, right? They didn't make, one captain and then a couple of different, painted pirate, seamen, right? That are just, boat guys, right? It's like made 3 individual characters. So
yeah. There's a few things in the chat, but that's what I've got for the topic this week. I'm really excited for 2026. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. There's a lot of opportunity here, and this goes back to something I've said and you said multiple times before on this show, on other streams, is that we're living in the best time for toys. Like we have the
100%.
coolest, most skilled sculptors, the technology's there for it. And what we have is, a renaissance, I guess, in ways of toys. So this is an opportunity. I think 2026 is going to be a great opportunity for the companies that have spent the last 5 years setting that foundation up to add the patio and add the 4-car garage and put the in-ground pool in now, right? Like, let's see what 2026 brings. You spent that first half of this decade really building up your foundations. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys hit home runs and grand slams over the next 12 to 18 months. But in this next 12 months, I want to see some big risks and some big swings from the teams. And focus on that lore, guys. Give me something to eat and digest. I love that stuff. But you want to hit that chat up real quick, Ed?
Yeah, we got quite a bit in here. So let me go back up here where Allison's here somewhere. There she is. Greetings, Allison. How you doing? Thank you for coming in. Good to see you here. Jim saying he wants Savage Crucible Steampunk, which is possible because anything is possible in the Crucible. They even said that themselves.
Damn you! I like my fantasy stuff. You want some steampunk stuff? Let it be its own world. I know.
Ultimate's Gold Dust. Hey, TD3 Trooper Troy Dotson's here, or T-Roy, as I like to call him now. What's up, Troy? What's up, my dudes? Some Lucha Libre Ultimates would be something unexpected. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Well, they have that AAA stuff, so there's a lot of cool stuff down there, and I keep seeing them. They were on Friday night and stuff, and I've seen some videos and stuff, and that's what got me thinking about that is they have the opportunity to create some cool characters for sure.
Yeah. And Nolan's saying they need some more ladies. Largo's saying they need some more ladies and less repaints. Yeah. And this asshole here, Dragon. Yeah, you won a dragon, so shut up. Don't need to rub it in. Yeah, he won.
He's one of the guys that won it.
He's one of the ones that won it on the four horsemen.
That's awesome.
And look at this. Hey, suckers! Long time no see.
Oh, what's up, man?
What's up, Nomad? What's going on, brother? Long time.
Come check us out on Sundays, brother. We're here now.
Dracula's Castle would be a slam dunk. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like a castle place that would be cool. Terrence, what's up, Terrence? What's going on, brother?
We should do a topic on play sets here in the future.
Yeah, let's do one soon.
I feel like we can dive deep into that and talk about how they can be done appropriately. Because I don't think it's as simple as like, when we were kids getting a play set.
No, it's 100%. It's not. But there's ways around it, making it cost effective for sure. So Terrence, welcome, brother. Glad to see you here.
That's my dude, TNT.
Yeah. A pirate ship with a one-eyed Willy skeleton crew. Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. 100%.
Are you talking about the Goonies?
Yep.
That's my favorite. Hey, you guys.
Yeah. Nolan's saying a Data Toys Haunted Mansion for the Scooby-Doo stuff would be pretty sweet. That would be an awesome playset. Yeah, we should do a playset one for sure. And Menhoza is back. Jada should do Warriors in the Rockstar game style.
Warriors in the Rockstar? I don't know what that means. I'm not following.
Warriors.
Like the old movie type thing?
The old movie. I think that's what you're talking about, the old movie with the Warriors, yeah.
Okay.
Terrence saying, I think physical comics are a bigger loss, but digital is a worthwhile investment in world building. 100%, that's what I'm saying. And it doesn't have to be a full book, right? Do a few pages, and then by the time you're done with a couple updates, you got a full book. And then at the end of it, you just release it all at once,
Yeah, you push it. Well, that's what to me, that's the way to do it.
Right, 100%. He's saying he still can't believe there was a Rambo cartoon for kids. Yeah, there was a Rambo cartoon. There was quite a few of them. 3-star saying he was disappointed when he saw the RoboCop cartoon and there was no exploding hands or hookers. Yeah, 100%, dude. They cleaned up Rambo quite a bit too.
I never saw the Rambo movies. I just saw the cartoons, and I had the toys when I was a kid, and they got stolen out of my bag at school.
Conan the Adventurer cartoon too, which was cleaned up from the Conan movies that books that were out there. There could be controversial, this could be controversial, but that's where they could make an AI cartoon miniseries. Yeah, I mean, Coca-Cola got slammed for making an AI commercial, so I don't know if that'd be the smartest thing to do, even though it'd be the easiest way, right?
WWE just got in a bunch of trouble on there's some stuff happened over the weekend because Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio Jr.'s son, has been out with an injury, and they showed a promo of him, and it's believed, at least what I saw, I haven't dug into it, know how truthful it is, but they played a promo, I guess, and it had him with what was seen in the image said AEW, or looked very close to an AEW title.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, I didn't dig into it either, but I heard about it.
That's horrible. So there's a lot of things with the AI. I mean, nonprofit stuff one thing, but it's hard.
Yeah. Action Joe Fig saying he's excited for the black. And then he thinks AF 1944 is going to be huge. I think so too. If Bobby does it right, it's going to be nice to see him do some new stuff, a new story, with the black and with the 1944.
I don't know how much lore stuff's going to go in there, but
yeah,
that
I don't know either.
1944 is going to be an interesting piece because he's going to be able to tap on consumers that aren't into these action figures right now. Yeah. He can get a lot of people that may.
It's going to be interesting too to see if he does his Action Force. There's nothing military about it. It's a military line, but there's no real other than the weapons. The guys aren't all in uniforms or not like a standard military uniform is what I mean, right? Whereas when he showed off,
he did, right? Like they had modern military, right? Because he has all the army builders that.
But if you think about the main characters, right? Not the troopers.
Characters
right?
Are not. Yes.
Right? The main troopers are set up like G.I. Joe, where they're all military-esque, but not like true military uniforms.
Right. They're very G.I. Joe-ish.
Right. The 1944, from what he showed off, looks like they're actually going to be in green fatigues with the laced-up boots and the spats on the bottom, and the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does that and ties that in to the future Action Force, because this is supposed to be still part of that Action Force world.
Condor's uncle or something like that, or grandfather or whatever. Yeah. It'll be
and AJF saying he's interested. He likes the way the Monster Force looks, but he's not into monsters and animals and stuff. Yeah. DNA wise, Savage Crucible probably has an advantage over Spiro because Rob Post's whole thing was parts he was making this stuff at the origins of Four Horsemen. Yeah. He wants to build that parts library for sure. We're just saying where after this AWOC line, this latest line comes out,
I think it's
going to be a bigger pile of assorted parts as opposed to what Crucible has right now.
I think Rob long term has that goal and that vision to make it much more like that with the modularity. But I think that Spiro has a head start with this most recent Kickstarter. Right. I don't know that Rob would be looking to go down that route of a Kickstarter. Right. He'd have to be funded on his own to be able to build out that parts library. Right. I think if you're looking at a parts library and inventory and being able to do things, I think that Spiro's in a better position currently once this Kickstarter finishes and delivers to be able to start padding out the releases without it feeling like just reuse over and over.
And the John Carter from the Frazetta Girls looks
But that's
great.
not from Savage. That's from Frazetta, right?
Right. Yeah, that's from Frazetta Girls, yeah. That one looks really good. It's got the same buck as the Norseman and, the whatever the wolf dude's name is, Dark Wolf.
Yeah.
So far, every Frazetta release has been unique, no reuse as far as you can see. I mean, the body for Savage, right, is this human body they use for across the entire human wave for the Warrior of Ball and Chain. So, Terrence saying big plans for Tide Realms beyond the Kickstarter, but we need to make that goal first. Exactly, dude. But even that, it was great to see them do 3 unique characters, similar but unique, and build that lore around it. Then you can expand easily, right? So when you start doing some, first mates and just some, Schwabs, squabs for the deck, right? It's not going to hurt so much as opposed to coming out with a bunch of repaints and one unique character, right?
Yeah.
AJF saying he appreciates the fact that Valiverse announced the black on December of 2025, and in February the first figure is coming out. Yeah, 100%.
That I respect. I love that.
Bobby's always done that, right? He doesn't like to lead a whole big lead time between announcement and actual figure shown, right? Yeah. He'll do a preview at a con, right? Like he did DFW, and he did that with PowerCon, where there might be some time, but when he actually does a pre-order or an announcement where there's pictures and stuff, it's not a long time.
Yeah.
Troy saying he's working on his room diorama, listening to ToyLeet. I love the stuff you're building, dude. That Star Wars stuff, man. Whoo. Action Figure Sold Separately saying, come out to play. Yeah, come on out to play, man. Video games. I'll be seeing him at Joe Fest this year. Accessories should be a can of Spam. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, unless he's talking about for the 1944s, which especially packaged army would be perfect for a 1944. Big fan of Spiro, but it will take us 2 full years to see all that Kickstarter library. It's true. That's going to take a while.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The benefit of it is it's coming out in a strategic thing. What I heard most recently, I think today, was that when they announced it, they said that they kind of bit off the hardest part first with some of these brawler bucks,
Yeah.
them being one of the more difficult ones to start with. The other ones are hopefully a little bit easier, and as a result, everyone they drop, right, it opens up more parts to be able to fill in gaps in between, so we can get some off Kickstarter releases, if that makes
Right.
sense. Hopefully.
And the last thing Terrence is saying, Tide Realms 3 figures intro is an easy access for most collectors. I agree. I think that's a smart move for a Kickstarter, right? 3 unique characters that are basically the top 3 dogs. And then, like I said, once you get that lore out there and get the people excited, then you can start building out from there. And it's the perfect way to do
Absolutely.
it. And yes, spam for 1944, specially packaged army meat, 100%. And that is it for the chat, brother.
Awesome. So with that said, Ed, I know you pop up on other shows. I know you stop in on Thursdays with Punk, Fridays with Radnum, and then we're back here on Sundays, every other Sunday. So our next Sunday is scheduled to be February 1st. So check us out at 9 o'clock on
The
February
day after my birthday.
Oh, yes. And if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, stay wonderful.